So, but what I would say too, though, bro, I ain't gonna lie, like with saying that and saying like how you just saying like we can cut out other people, we can get to the bag faster and shit like that. I feel like also that's what.
Oh, and let me clarify something too. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm thinking while you're talking, but I'm
Mhm.
listening too. By the way, I don't mean like drugs and illegal guns and shit like that. I'm talking about like the T-shirt plug. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Or the dude
yeah,
that
yeah,
does artwork, or the
yeah, yeah,
motherfucker
yeah,
that
for
shoots
sure, for sure.
videos. You know what I mean? Like I'm talking about business shit
Yeah,
still. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like
for sure, for sure.
yeah, just to clarify.
Nah, I got you.
Yeah.
But nah, so I get what you're saying though, because even I do that sometimes too. But I feel like that's what hurts us though, because we cut out too many people to where we don't really know. Some people don't really know how to run it like a business. Like I would say, as far as like I was talking to somebody, as far as like with the promoter side, right? When we booking these artists, I feel like they should be able to show us some numbers. Show us what you feel like you should be able to do in Modesto. As far as so whatever I'm paying you is justifiable. You know what I mean?
I really don't agree with that.
You don't?
No, because you can't tell me what my art is valued at. I tell you what it is, and if you want to do it, do it, and if you don't.
True, but
So
you
when
should be
somebody
able to
tells me a
know
number,
what
bro,
numbers you should be able to not
no,
I'm talking
no,
about as far as like you don't feel
that's
like an
not their
artist should have an
job, bro.
estimate to know
That
who what
that's
type of
not
numbers you're gonna do in the city?
that's not their job.
Whose job is it? Just the
That's
promoter
the
to know?
promoter's job,
Just
bro.
to know
Because
you
they need to know what the numbers are, bro. That's what your job is as a promoter. It's all numbers.
so
You can't have
you
any
feel like
feelings in it. You if you put your favorite rapper at the club, he's probably not gonna sell out for you, bro. If you
okay,
put the person that usually sells out, then you'll make money.
true. I give you that
That's
one.
all it is.
But
So
you won't say that there's artists who you feel like you've overpaid to that
I'm
you
not saying that, bro. Yes,
know.
half of them are overpaid, but look, that's their art, and you're choosing to fuck with them.
Okay, you're putting it in that perspective of it.
Yeah,
Okay,
they're
I
the
got you.
ones that are getting the phone call like, "Hey, how much is it for a show?" So when this dude tells me 5,000, I'm like, "Shit, the budget for that show would be about 1,500 for you, bro." That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I could pay you 1,500 to make money, but I can't pay you 5,000 to make money. I'm thinking that. So when he tells me 5,000 and I know that I can't make $5,000 off of that show, I tell him, "Good looking, bro. I appreciate it, but I'm gonna pass."
Respectable.
That's what I tell him. You know what I mean? So that way I don't. Well, let me do this and no, I let him know right then. Yeah, bro. This is our last conversation, bro. Unless you want to send your clean edit over for Mars Radio, good looking out. Thanks for hitting me back. I appreciate you.
Yeah. No,
But
I
no,
respect
bro.
that. I
Like
respect
so,
that.
and me as an artist, you can't tell me what my shit is valued at. I tell you what it's valued at. You know what I mean? If I want to sell my, that's why Nipsey Hussle could sell his CD for $100.
I
He sold
respect
the
that.
one after that for 1,000.
But I still feel like you should. I still feel like though you should have at least a little bit of analytics as far as like if you're a rapper and you really consistently getting booked, you should be able to know like if you do something in Arizona, Seattle, Oakland, you should be kind of even if those
Well, let
like
me
you
rephrase it.
yeah, I mean you should be able to know which cities you're gonna kind of
Well,
like do the best
let me
in, you know?
rephrase it. Absolutely, 1,000%. You need to know your statistics and your numbers, your analytics for sure. I go on to the Empire website and I look up which of my songs is doing the best and which one is getting the most streams, what platform it is. I do that, so I know, and it tells you what cities the people are in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yes, but I don't have to tell a promoter that. Is what
No,
I'm
I get
saying.
what
You
you're
know what I
saying.
mean? It's my job to know it because I probably want to call up the club in Arizona and be like, hey, can I rent this motherfucker out? I'm gonna throw a show over here and whoop de woo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why, as an artist, you should know what your numbers are. So that way, if you want to do business yourself, you can. But if a promoter is doing his job, he knows what that person's gonna sell. He knows what their monthly streams is. He knows where the comments are coming from on their Instagram.
Whether if it's
Like
bots or not.
he could tell. You know what I mean? Because if he's got thousands and thousands of comments on there, click on about 30 or 40 of them randomly and
Yeah.
see if where they're at. You pop it up, boom, it's somebody out of the Bay Area, boom, somebody out of the Bay Area, boom, somebody out of the Bay Area. You're like, all right, cool. This demo is good for this artist. You know what I mean? Or on Facebook or Snapchat or wherever, you know what I mean? You could check out locations. You can see, what the statistics are. You can talk about other shows that they've done there. Follow them. You know what I mean? If they've done good in the city 2-3 times, chances are that if you bring them to that city, they'll do good there. You know what I mean? Like it's simple to figure it out, bro.
No, I respect it. No, I look at it like that too, but I also do. I just always felt like some people overcharge. So I feel like at least for your numbers, if I double back with the question, at least can you justify why you're charging that? I get what you're saying as far as it's your art. I'm paying you, but I just feel like
Mm-hmm.
okay, if you want that, can you tell me why you want that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I completely understand what you're saying.
I mean,
And
just so
in
it's
a
all
perfect
make
world, that'd be awesome.
like,
You know what I mean? Like you just send out an email and be like, "Hey, send me the numbers, please," and you get a printout of everything that they're guaranteed to do.
I
I
mean, or at
guarantee
least
300 people will be at the
no, but at
show.
least
Okay.
yo, I mean, but I'm the top artists know that shit though, bro.
Yeah.
Like niggas, like because when you're doing ticket sales, you kind of can look at the tickets and know like, okay, they like if you're ahead, like I love to use the Rod Wave reference because when Rod Wave came to Oakland, if you had friends on social media or you dealt with anybody from Oakland, they were talking about that show.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's certain people that they know their analytics are just through the roof.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And I just feel like it will help. It also will help the promoters to the sense that we just know, okay, well, we're booking them because sometimes we get fooled by the. I mean, I know you could have to say you haven't got fooled before, but like through like just like baiting into a person being super hot on IG, but they really don't have a consistent fan base.
Yeah, you kind of have to take that into consideration when you're doing it as a risk.
Yeah,
When you're like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna just try it.
yeah,
That needs to be a show that even if you lose at the door, you're still covered.
yeah,
Then you can do it if it's a risk. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
you don't do those risks with when you're expecting to make the door. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
no,
real shit.
no, bro. That's how you end up at bad nights. You know what I mean?
Go home fucking ready, fucking
Yes.
beat your girlfriend up and shit. But
When you arrive to the venue, you should already have the back end for your headliner,
oh yeah, a
DJ,
hundred, yeah,
security, all that. You should already have that.
yeah.
You shouldn't need to make $1 off the door in
Yeah.
order to have a
Oh yeah,
decent
you're
show. And
fucked
look,
if you're
yeah,
if you're
yeah,
waiting on door money to pay the back end. Whew,
yeah,
that might be a bad night for you. I've seen it, and I've seen guys literally get like, "Come on, you're going to the ATM."
yeah,
Like seriously.
for sure.
But let's get into your delivery, like in your approach to these companies when you get these sponsors. I seen you out there doing this shit. You got gladiators.
Gladiator Insurance sponsored the D'Lo show.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
like, what's your approach when you walk into a company and you're trying to talk some sponsorship? Like, you just going, hey, I might be the curse. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
what's your spiel?
So Gladiator Insurance is a local company here in Modesto, and they got easily the best prices as far as insurance goes in Modesto. You go in there, and they'll take care of you, and it'll be great. So Gladiator Insurance in Modesto, it's over there, right behind the Denny's by 5 points. It's like boom, right there. Go in there and tell them that I sent you. Most of the time with these sponsors and people like our boxing gym that my daughters go to, it just be natural relationships. I really needed the car insurance and I went there and talked to her, and then she hooked me up. You know what I mean?
Keep it real.
Yeah, I'm not
So I
even gonna
needed some
lie.
car insurance. I asked some
No,
questions, and it
I
went
checked
through.
out like 6 companies and I was getting priced more $200 more at all these other companies. So when I just to start it and everything, you know what I mean? So when I noticed the difference in the price like that, I was like, yo, how are you able to do that? Whoop, whoop. Turns out she had just bought the company from the owner. She was insurance for like hella years. She worked there previously, went work somewhere else, came back, bought the company. So she was just in the best mood. So I remember that relationship. And she was telling me how she had sponsored a couple things. So I just went back and I was like, hey, this is what we got going on. This is what we can do for you. And we, made it happen. The boxing club, man, he's a great coach. He works with my daughter Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays, and I was just like, man, we got to do some interviews, we got to do some this, and we'll get some sponsoring going. And so they've been on Mars Radio every week. You know what I mean? So just building genuine relationships with somebody because I'm not gonna go out to somebody and make it about the dollar anymore. You know what I mean? Like now I'm doing what I would consider art. You know what I mean? So that pretty much tells you how I'm
As far as
approaching
like
these
that's how you
sponsors.
look at it when you do a party. It's
Yeah.
art. I look at it like that too. It's an empty room. We're gonna turn this bitch into, you know what I mean?
It's art because it's not always the dollar. Somebody's getting the look that night. You know what I mean? One of these openers is getting the look. For one of every show that I've done in the past couple years, there's always been at least one opener where it was the best night of their fucking career. You know what I mean? Because most of them are starting out. So
Yeah,
at least one always comes up to me like, "Dang, bro, this was so tight." You know what I mean? And you can see it on their face when they're performing. You can see it
yeah,
when they got their cousins and family there or friends or whatever. You know what I mean? So to me, it's art.
yeah. It takes a lot too to actually like get the connects to consistently be able to perform. So
Yeah,
sometimes just being able to do that live show is a thing
for sure.
for sure. Let's talk about the time that you because Mars Radio is connected to K-Win, right?
No,
Or they? Or how does that shit work? Because I know doesn't it have something to do with K-Win?
no, it doesn't have anything to do with K1. K1 is 98.3, and Mars Radio is on 95.5. They're actually two different. So 95.5 is like a local station that plays like talk radio and like empowerment. It's a lot of talk radio. It's not really very much music. About probably I would say like 25% of the station is actual music. So when we discussed with them what we were going to be doing for them, we were like, we're bringing a hip hop element to the station because no other um, show was bringing that. You know what I mean? So I wanted to let them know what I could bring as far as the talent, the local talent, the regional talent, the signed and even the unsigned, all needed a platform in this area to meet.
Mhm.
So I, had a meeting with them. We ironed out the details and everything. That's how Mars Radio came about. What K1, those are the big dogs. They've been here forever. You know what I mean? We're about to hit our 100th episode next week, so we're still a young show. You know what I mean? And we're
So
only on
essentially, you
Friday,
was
Saturday, and Sunday at 8 o'clock.
so essentially you went into a radio station that you just knew that didn't have a big music outlet,
Yeah.
and
Well, I
just
mean, in order to fix something, you got to find the problem. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, for sure,
so I found out like, oh, you guys don't have this. Let me provide it.
respectful.
So pretty
You never
much.
worked at K-Win or
I
nobody?
worked at K1. I
Okay,
worked at
I knew it
K1.
was something with
Yeah, yeah,
K-Win
yeah.
that had
No,
to do
yeah. I
with
worked
you.
at
Okay.
K1. I worked at K1 before I got with Livar, and I was doing sales and stuff for them. So I
Oh,
learned
okay.
I
Okay.
learned a lot about the numbers and stuff like that. So
Okay.
that was
I had
another
to correct him. I'm like,
that
I
was
know this nigga got something to do with
yeah, no,
K-Win. Yeah.
that was a big help for me getting back into the radio because I learned a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? How to talk to people about the radio and stuff,
For sure, for
music.
sure. Let's talk about family for a minute, bro. I know this with you is you big with your family, like
Yeah,
your kids. You take them to the game, go out to eat, love to post that shit. Like,
yep.
what's your motivation on a daily basis? Two questions actually. I love to part this up in two. What's your motivation on a daily basis? Not just being your kids being your motivation, but what's your motivation that motivates you to do great for your kids? And then also, how do you balance the time of here and home? Like, how do you balance that shit to where your girl's not complaining too much, your kids aren't saying, "Dad, I don't see you enough," or your girl's not saying, "Damn, you doing another party?" Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
how do you balance all that shit out
So
to stay
that's so
motivated for the
that's
kids
so
and shit?
that's so that's the tough thing.
That's a good question.
You know what I'm saying? That's the key. No, it's very very simple. So I have a daughter and two nieces that live with us and have lived with us forever. So it's like having three daughters. You know what I mean? So every day I got three kids. As soon as they wake up at 7 until they go to bed at 9. Those aren't the hours all the time, but that's what we try and go by. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So no matter what else I'm doing, I have to like guide it around that. You know what I mean? Got to pick up the girls from school at 2:30. So whatever I'm doing, I can't schedule from 2:30 to 3 o'clock because it's going to take me about 30 more minutes after I pick them up to be able to get back to work.
Mhm.
So when there's a show, you know what I mean. My girl's like, "Hey, do whatever you got to do." I understand. Just let me know with enough time so that way I can make my plans and do what I got to do. You know. So she works, I work, and we just make it work out. As far as the children making it work for me, I just bring them to work with me after I pick them up from school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if I got to do something and I can't have kids there, I can't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not until at the nighttime when
They're not allowed to be
my
that busy.
girl
Yeah. Oh
gets home
yeah.
from school. Or, I mean, excuse me, from work. Then you know what I mean. She can watch them or whatever, if it's necessary. You know what I mean. But I'm not out 3 4 times a night just chilling and having drinks at the club with my boys and
Yeah.
or having PlayStation parties or you know what I mean or whatever. You know what I mean. I go home every night. You know what I
Nah,
mean.
real shit. I do
Yeah,
too. Sometimes 4 5 in the morning, but I get my ass back there eventually.
for
Even
sure.
on the nights, you know what I'm saying? I like to two these last two
Like
questions, but
my daughter's here right now for
yeah,
for
I see that,
example.
and I
You know
was
what I mean.
always respect that. Like,
So
bro,
you
that's
know
the
what I
same way
mean.
I
Like
would be.
yeah.
Like, that's why I
So we
choose
doing our
like,
thing in here, but it ain't nothing crazy happening.
yeah,
You
I
know what I
mean,
mean? Like nobody's
it's
like just leaving
always
their pistol on the side or
anybody,
anything like
bro.
that. You know what I mean? So
Anybody who's willing to work and pick and choose a job based on the factor that their kids can be there with them, I always respect because that's the
for
biggest reason
sure,
why I got jobs and shit too, but I only go to regular shit 2 days a week. All the other shit is shit to where if it need be, if my son got to go with me, he will be able to. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
for sure.
But I wanted to ask you, what is next for you, bro? Because in my opinion, in my opinion, you've done a lot of big shit already. You booked big artists already.
Mm-hmm.
You working. You in downtown Modesto. You got the nice venues. You know what I'm saying. You doing
Yeah.
your thing. So what's the overall goal for this year? How are you going to the next level? You
Well,
know.
the next level is just, maintaining, you know what I mean? So as long as you're steady working on something, I think that, that's something to be proud of in itself. You know what I mean? It's when you stop, that's when shit doesn't progress, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So we're just going to keep doing more shows, you know what I mean? Try and get bigger artists for the shows. We're doing a lot of stuff as far as the live wire clothing going. So Stalin has a lot of ideas and plans for that, the online. Um, so we're gonna work on that, and then I'm just gonna keep making music. You know what I mean? And every time I step in the booth to create something, I just try and make an even doper song than I made the time before. You know what I mean? And people are starting to appreciate my music more. I got a new album coming out with Stalin, Wired in Five. We're working on that right now. I'm throwing the Spanish shit in there more. You know what I mean? So
You got to,
you know what I
man.
mean? Just
You
just
got to. You
maintaining,
gonna
pretty
gain.
much, just
I'm
continuing to
telling you.
work.
I heard the Spanish music. You're gonna gain 1,000 fans off that shit.
Appreciate it.
It's just culturally, there's certain cultures that just support differently,
Right.
and Latinos are one of them. It's just
Absolutely.
it's just
I
what it
mean, I
is. You
love
know what I'm
my
saying?
people.
You
It's
gotta
just
respect what
I,
it is
I
when
was
it
a
comes
little
to certain
hesitant
shit.
on putting the Spanish in there because it's not really my day to day. Like I know Spanish, I could talk Spanish, but I don't really talk Spanish throughout most of the day. You know what I
Fluently, you
mean?
mean? Yeah.
So I
It sounded
speak it
crisp.
good. It's just I don't usually because I
Oh,
don't have
okay.
other people that talk it to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean?
Nah, I feel exactly what you mean.
If I pull up like, hey, ¿qué pasó? ¿Qué rollo? Like everybody's looking at me like, what the fuck did you just? I'm like, stay away. They're like, again. I'm like, never mind.
Yeah, for real, for real. So I always like to end off with this question, bro. Growing up, you can say either one from your kid or right now. Who's your celebrity crush, man? Who's
Celebrity crush?
yes? Who's the celebrity crush that if I be the curse happen to be in the club, or if curse happen to be in the club
Mm-hmm.
and you see this person, even though you got a family and all this shit, we just saying
Yeah,
hypothetically, you know what I'm
hypothetically.
saying? You see this motherfucker, you shooting shot,
Yeah, so hypothetically, like that my girl wouldn't kill me,
man.
I would have to say Ashanti
Okay, that's a good one.
and Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, that's two good
So
ones.
if I saw Jennifer Lopez, like I would come home and like apologize to my girl, be like, I'm sorry, it was Jennifer Lopez. Like,
Straight
what are you
up.
gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, if you want to be mad at me, just remember it was Jennifer Lopez. You know what I
Hey
mean?
man,
Like, it
for real.
wasn't like
Jenny
some
from the block,
yes, Jennifer Lopez.
man.
Or
Nah,
Ashanti, like we went to the fair when Ashanti came out here and she was all like, man, why are you so persistent to go to the fair? I'm like, we gotta go. It was like the 13th. She was like, why the 13th? Why not the 14th? Why not the 12th? I'm like,
uh,
no, we're going on the 13th.
straight up.
I'm all helping the kids get ready and you know what I mean? Like,
We
what
gotta
the
be
hell
in
is
by
this?
this time.
She was like, oh, Ashanti. Okay. All
Real
right.
shit, real
Shit, we
shit.
was over there. I'm like, see, my days are cool with that. I'm just playing.
Nah, those are two good ones though. Those are two ones that I can say growing up as a kid. I know teenage years, some
Yeah.
Ashanti videos and some Jennifer Lopez
Yeah.
videos.
Ashanti.
Those are two banging bodies
Mm-hmm.
and
They're
two
very attractive.
for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. We can end off with what's your besides your Instagram and the radio station, what
Right.
other platforms are you on?
Me and Stalin got the Wired Inc. podcast. I mean, excuse me, Wired In podcast.
Okay.
So we've interviewed a lot of cool artists. We've D-Lo, UC Kayla, Lil Kayla, Stunnerman. We've interviewed quite a bit of people, and it's a dope platform. So me and Stalin do that, and then me and my girl do the Rapper and the Nurse podcast. So me and her do topics like mental health and balancing music, balancing family, and we talked about my surgery on there. We talked about when I almost died. You know what I mean? We
Shit.
talked about a whole bunch of cool stuff. No, I wasn't shot or nothing. I had surgery and I was in the
Almost died
ICU for
while
like
getting
a week. Yeah,
surgery.
yeah, yeah. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It wasn't like nothing heroic. You know what I mean?
Nah, that's crazy though.
But we talked about that. You know what I mean? And we just talk about relationships and stuff like that. How to raise our daughter. You know what I mean? That's what we're trying to do. Make a better life for her than we had. You know what I mean? Me and my girl had a lot of similarities as far as like having rough uh, upbringings. You know what I mean? and having tough situations. So we're like, man, if we can make it easier for her, bro, let's do it. You know what I mean? So that's what
Nah,
we
yeah,
do.
for sure.
That's how I balance it out, really. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'd rather be around instead of taking you to daycare. I'd rather be doing that. You know what I mean? Because you know what I mean, it wasn't really done for me like that. But you know,
That's true. That's true.
what you gonna do?
Last quick question. I see you at the podcast. What's your takes on the podcast industry? Is it getting too flat? Do we got too many podcasts?
Nah, like, bro, everybody should do whatever makes them feel good. You know what I mean? If somebody's gonna listen to you, do that shit,
Even if it's only one motherfucker, straight
bro.
up.
No, I'm saying
You might change that one motherfucker's life.
if somebody's gonna listen to you, do that shit. You know what I mean?
That's
Because
real.
think about when you were listening to like DMX or you knew that one kid that was suicidal and he found a song that made him rethink it and didn't. You know what I mean? Like whatever, all those crazy stories of people having stories about, oh, this one guy told me that I influenced with it. You know, all that. That's the reason why everybody that can should, if they want to. You know what I mean? That's what
That's
I
true.
feel about it. So if you want to do music, do music. If you want to sell cars, sell cars. If you want to work at McDonald's, work at McDonald's. Just when you
Whatever
do that
make you
shit, do
happy.
that, be the best you could be at it, and it don't matter. And so shit, yeah, create your podcast.
I
Holla at
respect
me,
it.
hit me in the DM about your podcast, and I'll subscribe. Fuck it, you know what
Nah,
I
man.
mean?
And I appreciate you, bro. I love sitting down with people topping up game, talking about different shit. Anybody who got some shit going like you, bro, I always look up to just on the fact that I know how much money, time, and dedication it takes to keep this shit going and to
Appreciate it.
wake up every day. And a lot of this shit we doing, we putting our own money into is taken away from time from other things that we possibly be doing that could be maybe more profitable or more too, but we doing what we love. So I respect your grind, bro. And
Appreciate it, bro. Thank
I
you.
see you, man. I see what you're doing. That's why I had to come sit down, bro. And I always be trying to help promote the shows and do
Yeah, let
whatever I
me
can
just
do.
let them know about Mars Radio one last time, though. So, Mars Radio is a radio station out of Modesto, California. And we reach from Stockton and Tracy all the way down to Merced. So, on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights at 8 o'clock, if you turn your radio to 95.5 on your FM dial in your car or at your house, wherever you got a radio, one of them old fashioned
The real
FM radios,
radio.
a real radio, not internet radio, not satellite, just a real FM radio on Saturday nights, Friday nights, and Sunday nights at 8 o'clock. We do an hour-long show. We play local, we play regional, we play Jay Stalin, we play some of my shit, we play some of yo shit, we play some of they shit. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we play different artists. You know what I mean? So if you got dope music, email it to marsradio209@gmail.com. If
And
you
make
look,
sure it's a radio edit
it's
as
got
well.
to be clean,
Okay.
bro. We can't play. The FCC regulates us just like they do K-Win. So it's got to be a clean version. It can't play nothing with bad words or suggestive lyrics or anything like that. Send it
Okay.
to us. If we like it, we're going to holler at you. And on Mondays on Instagram, we do a thing where whoever gets mentioned the most, we play this shit on Friday. You know what I mean? So Mars Radio 209 on Instagram and on holla at us.
Straight up. And we out.
Let's go.